My name is Srijanani Bhaskar, and I am here today at Brian's request. ADS is, who, as I'm sure everyone here knows, that is sponsoring this event, is also our trusted partner, and it's an honor for me to speak here with Brian and support ADS. I am the global marketing leader for Tyvek, used in medical device packaging. I'll talk a little bit more about what Tyvek is and what it does, but yeah, I'm essentially the commercial and marketing lead globally. So in addition to the fun stuff like pricing and quality and product and positioning and promotion and all that fun stuff, the most fun aspect of my job is I get to work on defining and shaping the sustainability approach of our products. That's why we are here addressing you all today. I can see Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi there. How are you guys doing? I was able to unmute myself or get Scott to unmute me. So my name is Brian King, and I work at ADS, and I'm really happy to be here today. I know that we've talked a couple of times to you guys about initiatives that we have at ADS, and I'm looking forward to this presentation today. It's really nice to see you, Janani.
Fantastic. Pleasure to see you, Brian. And it's a pleasure to support you at this event. And thank you for the partnership. And yeah, should we get started then?
Yes, sounds great.
Yeah. Okay, so should I share my screen, Brian, or would you prefer to do it on your end? I'm okay with either.
If you share it, I think that would be fantastic.
Okay, super. Let me do that.
And since someone mentioned I'm listed as iPad 2 or something on my display.
I've renamed you, Brian. So
thank you very much. It shows how technologically savvy I am.
No problem. You were incognito.
All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
It's not in presentation mode. Now it is. We can see it in presentation mode now. Thank you.
Okay, great. So the way Brian and I tried to structure this was, as I keep mentioning, this is a true partnership, and I hope that is reflected during the course of this presentation as we talk through it. And we'll be talking about what our two organizations are doing together to enable better sustainability. So Brian and I are going to be tag teaming this a little bit. So just a quick, very quick high-level overview of what DuPont does for those who don't know. We are a specialty chemical company. We've been around for the past 200 years. You may have heard of our products. Well, these are no longer DuPont products, but when people think of DuPont, they think of nylon, they think of Teflon, they think of, we no longer make those products. They also think of Kevlar, Nomex, Tyvek, Zytel, Corian, Zodiac, used in kitchens are some of the consumer products that we also produce. All of the products that I just named come out of the business unit that I represent here today. It's DuPont Safety. Our mission is to produce innovative materials that keep people safe, whether they are at home, whether they are in transit, or whether they are at work. A few high-level examples are listed here, which I'm going to let you read. We provide Tyvek that goes into a variety of different markets, ranging from worker protection to medical device packaging. We also offer Kevlar for body armor that is used by soldiers and police officers. We're very proud to serve that community and keep people in transit safe by Nomex and Kevlar honeycomb materials that are used in several commercial aircraft. From the viewpoint of sustainability and sustainable supply chains, we do have a sustainability roadmap, and as was discussed in earlier presentation, a pretty aggressive set of sustainability goals that we want to meet by 2030. One of the goals that I'm personally passionate about, and I hope that gets reflected towards the remainder of this presentation, is this number 12 on the UN SDG goal list, which is the responsible consumption and production, in addition to several others that I will let you read here today. So yeah, with that, over to you, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So ADS, at ADS, we manage one of the world's most precious resources, and that's water. And so as a company, we derive a significant amount of revenue from sustainable products. And I think that's one of the things that makes ADS interesting, or at least unique in this space, is that we figured a way to use sustainability to make money and make a lot of money. And I know that for some companies, sustainability is a nice to do. And the question becomes, is it the right thing to do? Both those questions, of course, the answer is yes. And we figured out a way that we actually use sustainability as a way to make more money. There's about 10 billion feet of ADS pipe in service around the globe, predominantly in North America, is where we use our products, which I'm going to show you in a minute if you're unfamiliar. And we do keep a pretty low profile as well too. I mean, one of the things that I think we have an opportunity to do is talk about our sustainability message, and that's why I'm excited today to be talking with Janani about the partnership that we have with DuPont. If you could just advance to the next slide. When we talk about recycling, we are the second largest plastic recycling company in the US. We are actually the largest user of recycled plastic, or we believe we're the largest user of recycled plastic. The number one company who's ahead of us is actually someone who buys and sells recycled goods. And so we believe that we are the single largest manufacturer who use recycled plastic, 550 million pounds, predominantly HDPE. And you can see some of the statistics on here around how much actual recycled material that takes out of landfills. Those are then ground up. We are vertically integrated. We do have the ability to process, clean, and pelletize materials, both from a flake and from a raw material perspective. We then turn that into pipe, and the pipe products that we put into the ground, predominantly used for stormwater type applications, are taken out of the landfill for anywhere from 50 to 100 years is what the service life is. So we believe that we take single-use plastics and turn it into a product which goes into landfill, or it keeps product out of landfill and goes into an actual application or usage, which can last up to a century. Janani? So what is plastic corrugated pipe? Well, you see it on the side there. That's what it is. It's a very attractive product. It's black. It goes in the ground and it gets covered with dirt. So throughout my career, I've managed some really exciting products, and this is probably the most exciting from that perspective. If you could flip ahead, Janani. And stormwater management is really using thermoplastic pipe as a cost-effective and sustainable product compared to alternatives that are out there, which are predominantly concrete. There's a superior performance characteristic that comes with a plastic pipe. It's more durable, it's more resilient, and it meets the strict state and local performance criteria. And it also has, obviously, a great sustainability story to it as well, too. What you see on this page is just a couple of applications. It's used in agriculture, obviously in public and private construction, both residential and non-residential. And you can just see some of the forms and shapes of product that we offer.
All right, so now a little bit about Tyvek, and then now we'll just tie these two applications together. So in the back, you see a screenshot of what the Tyvek is. And as you can see, it is a interwoven, non-woven web. And I actually have a sample here with me today. So this is an example of a prosthetic implant that is packaged. And on top, you can see this paper-like material that is actually Tyvek. It's made from 100% high-density polyethylene. And has the resin identification code of number 2, completely FDA approved, and it's a food contact grade polymer. Tyvek has a variety of different applications. So DuPont is the only company in the world that has figured out how to manipulate a high molecular weight, high density polyethylene material through a novel process that is known as flash spinning to create this non-woven web. And not only have we figured out how to do that, we've also figured out how to control the strength of the structure that you get out at the end of the process. We can make soft cloth-like structures, which can be used in protective apparel. And the image on the left, rings very true in today's environment because we are currently completely sold out trying to serve the workers who are protecting us and serving us during this pandemic. In addition to protective apparel, We also make jackets and clothing, car covers, and other cargo covers. We can also create paper-like structures that can be used for medical packaging, and an example of that is right here. So yeah, so from medical packaging to envelopes and graphics to a building wrap, many of you may be aware of the Tyvek building wrap, as well as tags, labels, and sleeves. There is a very broad spectrum of applications that Tyvek goes into. So hope this provides a little bit of perspective onto what our respective product offerings are. So now we come to the problem statement. We've produced Tyvek for a broad spectrum of applications. Envelopes, graphics, yes, but materials, our medical Tyvek grades have very, very stringent product requirements because we also serve the pharma industry. So we do have some production waste, and the problem that we face is how can we better repurpose, reuse, or recycle this manufacturing waste. And on the other hand, Brian, all yours.
We have a problem as well, which is how do we get more raw material? We find it harder as we use more and more recycled goods and as our business grows to find more raw material. So hopefully you are able to identify the basis for our partnership. When looking at the problem from both a supply and also a waste perspective, it was the perfect marriage. And so that is why we formulated this partnership. Now, I think the partnership goes back before either Janani or I were involved in this, so we can't tell you how long we've been doing this, but the ability to utilize that Tyvek manufacturing waste, it's 100% raw material, and obviously looking for you know, the purity of raw materials when we make product is key. I mean, we have the ability to blend and looking at wide spec versus recycled materials and putting product together. But obviously, if we can find from an ADS perspective, a source of 100% new raw material, and at the quality level that the DuPont Tyvek product is, it provides a really high quality input material for us. So of course, we were quite excited to create this partnership.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Yeah, classic story of one woman's waste is another woman's pleasure. The good thing here is Tyvek, as I said, is 100% HDPE. A lot of times it's tricky to recycle things because there's a lot of mixed material waste coming out. So a good first step is to look at post-industrial waste and try to identify where there is what we call monolithic or monomaterial waste that is a lot easier to handle. And that's where the partnership with ADS has been incredibly successful. This is HDPE, maintains its crystalline structure, has all the desired properties that are required for post-processing. So it performs at the caliber that is usually afforded by 100% virgin or new raw material. So there is so much value created here because this is our waste. ADS is able to take this, create products, and then realize considerable savings by not using brand new raw material, and they are able to then pass those savings along to their downstream customers. And it's this value creation that we believe is incredibly important for this partnership to be successful and also sustainable. There is, as reflected in some earlier presentations today, there is direct economic benefit to the sustainability effort that is very clear here, which is what makes this worthwhile. Brian, please.
And like Janani was mentioning, I mean, the economic benefit is really the part of this which we have noticed, and obviously we still do purchase from an ADS perspective. We do buy virgin materials, which you know, obviously have a certain level of volatility in the marketplace, and we're very much beholden to what fluctuates from that side. So figuring out a way to offset that, figuring out a way to find a raw material input which has some economic efficiencies, obviously helps us. And we've proven that we can actually make quite a lot of money using recycled goods. So this is not one of those situations where it's a choice, or where potentially even it's an economic detriment from a profit perspective. Like Janani mentioned, it's a mono material, so it's entirely HDPE. It makes recycling and compounding this significantly easier than some of the other mixed waste streams that we deal with. And the thing that we want to mention, and the thing that when we reviewed this with Scott and the team was the circular economy should not start at the end of the life cycle. And I think that's where, you know, there's a huge benefit here is that we're thinking from an ADS perspective of at the start of the life cycle, how do we use this as an input material? So when thinking about this from a supply chain, it should not be, you know, oops, what do I do with this when we get to the end and I have to get rid of it and I don't want to throw it into a landfill? Product managers, marketing teams, you know, people from a supply chain perspective, when they're thinking about constructing new products or creating new solutions or even improving the solutions that they have today, thinking about the raw material inputs at the beginning of when a product is created, as opposed to, you know, when a product is at the end of its life cycle is key. And that's how we created this partnership. I mean, that's frankly why we've had such a successful relationship with DuPont.
And you have new questions. So again, if you keep Menti up on your phone or on your browser, you'll have these questions when you go into breakout. So again, think about the phases that are highlighted, both for the refillable, reusable bottle example, and for partnerships for finding resource exchange opportunities. So does the concept of take back work for your supply chain operations? What do you do with process waste and scraps? Have you found somebody to buy them? In the United States alone, industrial waste is a $57 billion a year industry. And so if you're not selling your waste, you should probably start looking at how you can do that so you can avoid paying for disposal and also find a new revenue stream. And how can you get more raw materials, and specifically from a secondary or regenerative space?